On behalf of the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association, welcome to our 5th annual School Bell Award Program. We will begin tonight by asking Libby Vandergrift to lead us in prayer.
It's nice to see so many of you, and I'm related to a bunch of you that are here too. If you'll bow with me. Father, we come to you praising you for such a beautiful day, and just that we can be here in this free country, and that you have blessed us beyond measure. And we thank you for that. We thank you for all of these people that are being honored. We thank you for all of our teachers that go above and beyond. And we're thankful for everyone that is willing to teach our children and to be good examples for them. We thank you that you've been with us and with everyone that's here and got us here safely. And we just ask that you would bless our food tonight and our evening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Libby. Now, if you're able to stand, please stand as Althea Winkle leads us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
I forgot to tell Althea that Glenda Dillon is going to sing the national anthem. Glenda Dillon is now going to sing the national anthem for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming out the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Glenda. I've been anxious for a chance to hear her sing, and I am not disappointed. That was lovely. That smell of that fried chicken is making me hungry. I imagine it is you too, so we're going to go ahead and eat. I'm going to the buffet line. I'm going to ask our special visitors from the high school to go first at this table over here, followed by the rest of their table, and then we'll take these tables in order. So, young people, please enjoy the performance of Maddie Way, Maddie Stevens, Natalie Reed, Mackenzie Westerland, Robbie Wadley, C.J. Ramfeld, Brett Dudenhofer, and Tanner Whitrock under the direction of Matt Jackson.
Hi, we are the Lebanon High School Mixed Court Octet, and we will be singing Set Me as a Seal and Sooner Will Be Done.
Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your heart, for love is strong as death, for love is strong as set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your heart. Love is strong as death. Many waters cannot quench love. Many waters cannot quench love. Neither can the floods, neither can the floods drown it, neither can they drown it. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your heart. Love is strong as death is strong as Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I'm going to live with God. I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I'm going to live with God. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. No more wedding. No more wedding. No more weeping at a wedding. I'm going to live with God. No more wedding. No more wedding. No more weeping at a wedding. Weeping at a wedding. Weeping at a wedding. No more, no wedding. done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world, the troubles of the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world. Gone home to live with God. I want to meet my Jesus. I want to meet my Jesus. I want to meet my Jesus. God to live with God. I want to meet my Jesus. I want to meet my Jesus. I want to meet my Jesus. God to live with God. I'm going to live with God. I'm going to live with God.
Want to thank the ensemble for gracing us with their talent tonight. We will let you young people head home. Some of you probably have homework to do. You are more than welcome to stay. You are more than welcome to stay if you wish. While we're waiting for them to exit, let's thank Nancy and your staff for this delicious meal.
Mr. Jackson.
I'd like to acknowledge and thank our corporate sponsors this year, Holman Howe Funeral Homes, Emerson Climate Technologies, and Independent State Company Engineering Department, which was supposed to be represented by Dale Leichmeyer. However, he had a project that went sideways, so he's still working. The best hallmate you could ask for. My all-time favorite teacher. She held that department together. Always smiling, a joy to work with. Responsible for my career path. Most memorable class was that person's class. The reason I'm able to do what I do today, that comment was from my son. Why I became a teacher. These are some of the comments I heard when talking to people about our honorees tonight. I'm just going to share some highlights from their biographies, so please take a packet home with you. If you are one of a couple, perhaps just take one in case there's a few people that didn't get one. But please read their biographies because I did not share everything, and there's a lot of personal information in there, and each one is different because I made them write them themselves. And you can see why I could talk to them for days and not get some of this information. I'm going to change it up just a little bit from, if you give me a moment. Do your hands get dry in the winter so that you can't turn pages? That's what I experienced. I had the great privilege early last month to meet for the first time with Flossie Shamel. I am so glad that I did. Flossie Mae Jones Shamel was born in Agnes, Missouri. I looked that up on the internet. It's no longer on the map. To Amos and Ira Jones. She grew up on the family farm, the youngest of 5. Flossie joined her siblings at Cantrell School at an early age. Please read her biography for more information about that. Beginning a lifelong love of teaching and learning. Later, she attended school at Competition, graduating in 1943. Flossie began teaching in one-room rural schools when she was not quite 16. Her career lasted 33 years. Her first paycheck was for $80. Remember that teachers get paid once a month. One of Flossie's and her students' fondest memories was of playing with the children at recess. Mrs. Shamel, no wonder you were their favorite teacher. She also did janitorial duties and drove the pickup truck bus. In her career, Flossie taught at Huff, Gardner, Stony Point, Newton, Franklin, Manus, and Competition. Maybe one of these days I can drive you around, you can show me where they all were. I kind of know about some of them. My dad was a Sunday take a drive person, but some of them I hadn't heard of. While in first grade, Flossie developed a crush on Leland Shamel. She chased him for calling him Red. It took several years before she caught him. They were married after Leland returned from his service in World War II. They were married for 72 years. Flossie and Leland were very self-sufficient on their farm, which was 25 miles from Lebanon. She balanced the roles of farm wife and mother and busy school teacher and administrator with typical Ozark hard work and determination. She makes me think of my grandmother in that sense. Flossie has 2 daughters, Kathy Trantham and her husband Steve, and Dana Hacker and her husband David. She has 6 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren, with whom she shares tales of her school adventures. Flossie loves to visit with and hear from her former students. Her contact information is at the end of her full biography, and she would love to hear from you. Mrs. Shamel, can she come up here? Would you join me up here? Mrs. Shamel, I'm pleased to present this School Bell Award to you on behalf of the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association. Ron Atteberry grew up in the Dallas County community of Charity. It is still on the map. I looked it up yesterday. I kind of know where it is. He went to elementary school there and graduated from Buffalo High School. Ron is a 4th-generation teacher, the son of Joe P. and Mary Maddox Atteberry, both educators. There were many other educators in his family. Read his biography. Ron obtained his Bachelor of Music Education from Southwest Baptist University and has a Master's in Secondary Music Education and a Doctor of Sacred Music. He came to Lebanon in 1974 as choir director for First Christian Church, while still in school, I might add. I remember that. Ron, you can thank me later for not bringing my 1974 copy of the Mozarteum tonight. That was SBU's yearbook. I have a copy. He began teaching at Lebanon Junior High School in 1976. Ron became choir director at Lebanon High School in 1977 and retired from there in 2005. However, he didn't really retire. He has continued to teach in various capacities and at several different schools since his retirement from LHS. Again, read his biography. Ron's choirs have performed at Carnegie Hall, in Canada, and in London. Under his direction, Missouri Ambassador of Music choirs traveled and performed throughout Europe for 10 seasons. Ron is also a composer, having written over 100 choral compositions, and has been honored many times for his lifetime of dedication to music education and the world of choral music. He has also served our community in many ways and continues to do so. In 1980, Ron married Susan Manton. In 1983, daughter Charity was born, and in 1987, son Josiah joined the family. Charity and her husband Ben Hammond live in Missoula, Montana, and Josiah and Abby live near Columbia. Ron and Susan live in Lebanon, enjoying travel, working in their church, and with the Shepherd's Pack food program, and pursuing many hobbies. Ron, would you please join me at the podium? I'm pleased to present this bell to you on behalf of the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association. By the way, that comment from my son about not being able to do what he does today, this man, my son was painfully bashful, and choir brought him out of that to the point that he actually gave a seminar for work last year. Donna King is the daughter of James F. and Mary Cunningham. She has 2 older siblings, Her family moved to Lebanon when she was 5, and she began school in the Adams Building. Many of us remember the Adams Building. Some of you remember pieces of the ceiling probably falling on your head as it aged. I remember the stairs, the curve of the steps. She attended classes in the Washington Building, and somewhere in my house I have a brick from that building. Over Christmas break of her 6th grade year was when the move to the brand new Donnelly Building happened. I remember being jealous of you all, not realizing that Boswell was just slightly older than the new Donnelly Building. Donna graduated with the LHS class of 1968. While at LHS, she met J.D. King, another member of that class. He joined the Navy after graduation and was stationed in San Diego. The two married on March 25th, 1969, so happy anniversary a week early. When J.D. got out of the service, they returned to Lebanon. Donna worked for Webster Gas until son Chad was born in 1972. Carrie joined the family in 1974. Donna stayed home with the boys for 8 years. In 1980, she began working in the guidance office at Lebanon High School as the registrar. It was an office she held until retirement in 2016. I'm seeing a theme of long and dedicated service here tonight. She was honored with the Support Staff of the Year Award for the 2011-12 school year. Son Chad is married to Amy, and Carrie is married to Lori. They are all LHS graduates and live in Laclede County. Donna and J.D. have 4 grandchildren. They love attending their grandchildren's activities and are active members of White Oak Pond Cumberland Presbyterian Church. Donna loved her job at the high school, especially helping the students in any way she could. If you received a diploma from LHS between 1980 and 2016, this lady was responsible for you actually having a diploma to look at. I think I could find mine if you gave me an hour or two. Donna, would you please join me at the podium? I am pleased to present the School Bell Award to you on behalf of the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association. Sybl Blakemore Slaughter was born in Mexico, Missouri, to Hubert and Hazel Blakemore. Her family lived in and she grew up in Columbia. Sybl attended Columbia Public Schools, graduating from Hickman High in 1957. She then attended the University of Missouri-Columbia. After completing her first degree, she taught 2nd grade at Overland Park, Kansas. She continued her education in the summers, obtaining her Master's of Science in Education from MU. After 6 years in Kansas, the family moved to Lebanon, where Sybl spent the rest of her career. Most of this time, she taught kindergarten. Diana Crane taught in the room next to Sybl, who calls it a great partnership for kids' success. Eating lunch with Kathy Capps was enlightening, she says. Sounds like deviltry to me. Also a lot of fun. Later, Sybl became an administrator, with convincing from Dr. Luthi. She has worked in every elementary school in the R3 district, serving wherever her superintendent husband Vic thought there was a need. She served as assistant principal at Maple Crest, at Boswell, as Title I director, then retired as principal of Boswell School. She says it was very hard to fill Jim Renner's shoes there. As Title I director, Sybl was instrumental in instituting a reading recovery program for struggling first graders in Lebanon R3 district. This program is considered by many reading instruction experts worldwide as the premier intervention for students in need of intensive help. Sybl has served in many other capacities over the years, including as a member of the Missouri State Board of Education and on several other boards, and as a member and often officer of local, state, and national organizations. Read her biography. Although I'm not sure how much of it I was able to get in there. I was under a deadline, I thought, before I had the printing done. She's a member of First Christian Church in Lebanon. Sybl and Vic have 3 children, Jennifer DeHaan, George Slaughter, and Blake Slaughter. Jennifer is a teacher nearing retirement in North Kansas City. George and Blake are engineers. The Slaughters have 5 grandchildren. Sybl, I want to personally thank you for giving me a chance those many years ago, and especially for believing in reading recovery. This program was truly life-changing for me as an educator. Sybl, please join me at the podium. Sybl, I'm pleased to present the School Bell Award to you on behalf of the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association. Growing up on Fairfax Avenue in Lebanon, and a block away from me, we had wonderful neighbors all over. It was a house where I remember playing as a child, and the lady of the house had I guess you would call it a carport sale one day. And for some reason, we children thought it was a good idea to be playing at that house that day. We were running in and out, and I don't know why. And I knocked over a ceramic duck and broke it. And that was our next honoree's house, and his wife, the lovely Marie Wilson, was so kind. I was devastated, and of course she didn't think much of it. Then somebody told me later, well, she had it for sale, so it didn't mean much to her. But it really hurt me at the time, because I was a sensitive child. I don't know what happened. Clark Lee Wilson was born in Laclede County to Ralph and Eva Wilson, the youngest of 4 and the only boy. He attended school in Lebanon, joining the U.S. Navy after graduation. He served aboard a submarine for 4 years. Afterward, he earned a bachelor's degree in education and mathematics from what was then SMSU. Clark started his teaching career at Dalton School near Oakland. Later, he moved to Blackfoot School, then became a part-time teacher and principal at Conway, Phillipsburg. He earned a master's in mathematics from the Rolla School of Mines, and in 1965 he began teaching in Lebanon, where he remained until his death in 1989. He taught all forms of math, but especially loved trigonometry and calculus. He was mathematics department chair during much of this time. He also taught at Detroit Tool and Engineering and evening math classes at Drury's Fort Leonard Wood campus. Clark was particularly proud of his service as senior class sponsor. Many of us in this room remember him leading us on graduation night. Marie Barr was a secretary for Laclede County Superintendent when she and Clark met. They married in 1960 and had 3 children, Paula, Stephen, and Michael. Just as with the Atteberry family and music, the numbers genes are strong in the Wilson family, as 2 of the 3 children and 1 grandchild so far work in math-related occupations. Clark strove always to make math understandable. One of the things his students always remember is being tossed chalk and erasers to let them know that they would be participating at the board, or to catch and solve. He was one of the first teachers in Lebanon to have computers in his room. I remember that. And encouraged students to learn to use them. I remember my friends being very excited about that. Ron and Susan would like to add something to your father's resume, matchmaker. You can talk to Ron about that if you want. Clark loved his family, traveling, cooking and grilling, and was an active member of his church. Marie is living in Kansas City, in the Kansas City area, and is no longer able to travel long distances. But she did. Dr. Lithy's been in touch with her, and I have a copy of a message she sent him. I am sure you had some input on tonight's program. I wish to thank you and the group for selecting Clark as an award honoree tonight. I do so wish I could have attended, but health prevents it. Clark would have been so happy and humbled to be a part. Thank you so deeply from my heart. Representing the Wilson family tonight is their son, Michael. Michael, could you join me at the podium? I'm pleased to present this School Bell Award in honor and memory of your father from the Laclede County Retired School Personnel Association. forgive me for this next. Before I conclude, I'm going to climb up on my soapbox for a minute. The threats to our pension system and to public education in Missouri are real and, in my opinion, more dire than they've been, at least in the time that I've been retired. If you receive a pension from PSRS peers and are not a member of the Missouri Retired Teachers Association, I would urge you to do so. If you drove a bus, cooked, or any support personnel, I would urge you to do so. If you are a current teacher and concerned about what might happen to your pension, you can join as an associate member for a reduced rate, and you will get our newsletter, which will keep you informed on what's going on. MRTA is not affiliated with MSTA or NEA. You can join all of those retired organizations. They all have a retired personnel organization. Legislators know numbers, and when they see that 55,000 retired school personnel in Missouri are opposed to something, they know those translate into votes. Numbers mean something. There are membership forms somewhere. They're in a basket over there, and I'll have them on the table as you leave. If you have any questions about this, you can ask me. I'll get off the soapbox now. Honorees, after I conclude, please, if you gather up here for just a brief moment so Eric can take some pictures. And then please take your place cards out of your bucket and take it home with you as a souvenir. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a program and biography home with you too, because otherwise I'll just put them in the recycling bin. Our honorees tonight represent over 160 years of service to Laclede County's students and to our communities as a whole. We tip our hat to all of them and wish we could do more. Thank you again for coming, and have a safe trip home and enjoy this lovely weather. Thank you.